Hey guys, Andy Tran here with the InnerBark Outdoors channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I try and do weekly videos on the outdoor survival do-it-yourself and reviews. And in this video, I don't know if you can tell, I'm going to do a review on the Worksharp knife and tool sharpener Mark II. So I guess you can say the original is the Mark I, and this is just a little bit of improvement on top of that. So it kind of bridges the gap between the original knife and tool sharpener and the Ken Onion. A few months ago, I actually purchased the Ken Onion and with my own money, and I freaking love that thing. And so Worksharp was kind enough to send me this one for me to review, and we're just gonna go right into it. We're gonna sharpen a few different knives, some with some convex edges already from the factory, a few standard knives, and then also some tools like axes and whatnot. Let's get into it. So I actually wanted to bring out my Ken Onion so that we could have these things side by side, because people are gonna ask, what is the difference between them? So just comparing again the motor sizes, the Ken Onion edition seems to be a lot bigger, at least in the housing, than the knife and tool sharpener. And then also with the Ken Onion, you have a lot more adjustability in the speed, whereas the speed for the knife and tool sharpener is either 1 or 2. And I'm told that the 1 is even slower, so it works out a little bit better. So people don't over sharpen and take off too much material. For the knife and tool sharpener, you have 2 different angles that you can choose from with the guides, and that is 20 degrees and 25 degrees. And that is shown right here. And it's a little reminder that there's this little lever here, and all you gotta do to change that angle is flip it up and flip it down. Kind of hard to see in the camera, but you can see the guides here just opening and closing just a little bit. And when compared to the Ken Onion, you have quite a bit more adjustability. So pretty much infinite adjustability for people that have a lot of different knives with non-standard grind angles and things like that. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the motor speed for this thing. I have it in mode number 1 right now, so let's go ahead and fire this thing up. So I don't know how well you can hear me over the motor, but what I'm liking is that this belt is not deviating side to side whatsoever. And there's like hardly any vibration in the belt, so it's not flapping around at all. So super nice on that. Let's go ahead and bump this up to level 2. See that higher pitch, you can definitely hear it. But again, we're not getting any of that flippity-flappity on the belt. So for the first knife we're going to sharpen, it's going to be a standard edge, and we're going to use the Work Tough Clapacci. Shameless plug, this is my latest design, and it's under 100 bucks. If you guys are interested in learning more about this knife, I'll have a link down below for the actual video of the whole knife and its features, and then also my website. Again, under 100 bucks, pretty sweet deal. But it's a really fine edge, so what we're going to do is just tweak it a little bit. So we're going to go into the pocket knife mode, which is the flippy down, and that'll give us a 25-degree edge. And let's go. No heat buildup in the blade. It's going to do one more pass each side. And that is a super solid edge. Let's go and give it a test real quick. Let's give it a nice clean edge. Let's try some feather, shall we? Yeah, pretty sharp. So we are going to try to put an edge on this boot knife. This is a Kershaw boot knife, and it actually only has one edge, so it's not a true dagger. So this edge right here, you can run your finger on it all day, and aside from just getting a red line on your finger, nothing's really going to happen. So I put the medium belt on this thing, and let's see how well this thing does. So I got it down in the pocket knife mode, and let's give this a go. Nice even grind so far. Let's do another pass. Awesome, working the second side. Awesome. So it's still staying cool enough where I can still touch it, so I'm not worried about the temper getting messed up or anything like that. Let's keep on going. Really quick belt changes, but the belts are smaller, so that just makes it a little bit harder to get everything into the slots. All right, so let's go with the side with the marker again. All right, I'm gonna get a close up because you're not gonna believe it if I just tell you. Yeah, so pretty symmetrical bevels on either side, which I'm pretty happy about. The tip is nice and pointy. So the key for this is really controlling when the sharpener is on and off, and to stop the very tip of the knife while it's center on the belt, so that you're not running it off and then rounding out the tip. But yeah, this single edge boot knife is now a nice dagger. All right, so I wanted to test out the grinding feature on this, and so let's go and put it into the grinding mode. This little tiny blade guide here, flip that down, locks down in the down position. Blade guide, move that, and then we can take this and then rotate it. So now we're good to go. And so what I wanted to work on is my Wetterling's axe. This is the same axe that took a good chunk out of my knee several years back. And I still love this thing. No hard feelings about that. That's totally my fault. But I use this axe a lot, and there's a little bit of a bright spot there, and then a little bit right there. And so, being that this is a slight convex, this thing is going to be perfect for it, at least I hope. All right, so first time using it, let's see how it goes. Okay, that's a whole new level of sharp. It's hard to tell if any material is coming off, aside from the fact that I have some hemlock sap on here that is actually coming off, and that's the only indicator that it's actually taking it off, at least looking from the top side. And looking from the edge side, those bright spots are starting to disappear. So let's go ahead and flip this thing around and then tackle it from the other side. All right, edge is touched up. Holy cow. Let's give this thing the arm test. Hair popping sharp. This knife is designed by my good friend John over at the Wingman 115 channel. This thing is awesome, and the reason why I wanted to bring this on the video is because this is a Scandi Vex edge. So you have sort of a standard grind here that comes almost to a 0, and then right at the edge you have a little bit of a convex final bevel there. So since this belt naturally gives you a little bit of a convex, I figured it'd be a perfect match. So I use this a lot. There's a couple of little spots where we can improve on it. There's a little tiny bit of a flat spot right there, and then there's some wear right here on the tip. So without further ado, let's go rock this thing. So I have this thing set up for outdoor knives, so it's in the down position. This thing's flipped up. All right, and I found that if I stand up, this happens a little bit smoother for me. I wish the camera could pick up just how mirror polished that's going right now. Let's go to the other side. Yeah, so now this thing is doing ultra fine curls. And one of the good things about a convex edge, you know, people say that, yeah, the edge is a little more durable, but what it also gives you is super fine control on curls, because you don't have this flat edge that you're going to be controlling. You have a rolled edge that really takes to changes in your angle of attack. And so for things like feather sticking and just carving in general, that's where a convex edge really starts to shine. So that is my review on the Knife and Tool Sharpener Mark II. Overall, I think this design is quite dialed in, although there's a couple things that I would probably change. Actually, really only just one, and that is the speed setting for number 1. It's just a little bit fast. Unless you're using anything but the honing belt, if you're in setting number 1, you could take off more material than you want. And so for that reason, I would probably like half it from what it is right now. Not a huge deal. But I would say for my sharpening, the honing belt is really all I ever need, because it's more of a touch-up than anything. If you hit a nail, then yeah, you're probably gonna be removing a lot of material. And in that case, the speed that number 1 is currently at is probably good enough. So overall, I think this design is pretty dialed in though. The fit and finish of all the plastic parts, there's no wiggling around. Like I mentioned before, the movement of the belt is really, really smooth. It runs like a top. So you don't have this belt that's kind of flopping around and it's gonna give you inconsistent results. So would I suggest this to people that don't quite wanna go the Canonian route? I would say most definitely. It definitely bridges that gap between the original knife and tool sharpener and the Canonian. So I would give this like a probably 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, pretty solid. Freaking, actually, for the money, I think this is a better deal than the Canonian, but that's just my opinion. If you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and message me directly or comment down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Also check out my Facebook page, Instagram, other social media. It really helps me know these are the kind of videos you want to see. But as always, take care out there. Bye.